welcome to the Galactic Mind Weather Report. So my name's Mark and I'm coming to you with today's weather report from a beautiful place called Villa Akasha in Ubud in the Indonesian island of Bali. So today's a pretty special day. We're opening up what's known as the 13 days of the Blue Storm. Now, for those that track the Galactic Mind Weather Report or the Mayan Dream Spell Count, you would know that yesterday we closed off 13 days of what's known as the White World Bridger Wave Spell. So we've been working for the last 13 days on stirring up and bringing to the surface all of the old issues, the old parts of ourselves that are no longer relevant to who we are now. And the Blue Storm is arriving today to come and help shake us up, to help us let go of our grip on the old, because it can be hard sometimes to surrender something that's become so habitual in our lives, or something that we've become so accustomed to having around. And so this Blue Storm archetype that arrives today for the next 12 days that follow, can be very turbulent. It can be very topsy-turvy and not seem to have any real meaning or order in its manicness. But it has a reason for this. There's a reason that storms exist in our world. They're not just freaks of nature that come along. And when you look out in the world, it's the function of a Blue Storm archetype is actually to open the heart. And this can be a bit hard to understand sometimes because we think, well, hang on, it's what's all this shaking and breaking and destruction? How's that going to make me open my heart to love more? And the best demonstration or illustration I can come up with for this is when you look at natural disasters around the world. When there's a natural disaster, everyone, say a big earthquake happens, or a big flood, or it happens all around the planet where an entire community gets wiped out by something very terrible, this natural disaster that tears apart their communities and homes. But when you look at it, it's the one time that people put their egos away, they put their individuality to the side for a moment, and they come together by necessity to create a support mechanism for the community to get back on its feet. You start seeing compassion being unleashed all over the planet. Where people start opening their wallets to contribute money towards these causes to help these poor people. So it's this irony that sometimes it's in our human nature that we need some kind of catalyst, some kind of kick in the ass that shocks us out of our sleeping kind of comforts, and in order to really open up and see that there's so much more than just what we see in our closed little world. There's so much more that we can be putting our energy to be helping each other live in a much more caring and compassionate world and community. So another way to look at this is over the last 13 days, we've been bringing to the surface, as I was saying, these old aspects of ourselves. And it's a bit like, when the skin grows on our body. Now our bodies are rejuvenating themselves all the time. And we get dry skin, or the dead skin cells, they come to the surface. And we are constantly shedding these dead skin cells. They've served their purpose. There's no moral issue here. The cells, the skin played a function, and now it's time for new skin to come, so the old skin is shed. So in a way, this last 13 days has been about bringing to our awareness all of the dead skin that we have, that we're carrying, the dead aspects of ourselves that we're still holding as masks, thinking it's us, and that creates a disconnection with our real, our real authentic self. And so this Blue Storm that begins today is coming to wash away all of that dead skin. It's here to help peel away this old mask that we've been wearing for so long, so that the fresh new mask, the new egoic construct, which is our mask we show to the world, can be free and fresh to shine out into the world. And so through these 13 days, be prepared for things not to go as planned. And if you are able to surrender your control to the storm and accept that it's part of the evolutionary process, then you'll find that it's much easier to dance in the rain, to dance in the thunder and the lightning as it shakes your world. And you'll find it much easier to dance and play in the uncertainty that will be around during this period. Now, if you allow your fear to drive you and you feel yourself getting attached, not wanting to let go of these old aspects, or not wanting to let go of control during this time, then what happens is it's kind of like trying to hold on to a tree branch, thinking that if you let go, then everything is over. And the storm comes through, and the storm is going to blow, and the tighter you hold onto that branch, and we're talking metaphors here, the harder you hold onto the branches in your life while that storm is buffeting and blowing you, the more it's going to hurt. The more it's going to strain your fingers and your muscles, and the more energy you're going to use just to try and stay holding onto that branch. And whether you like it or not, that storm is going to ramp up until you have no option, but you will lose the strength, and you will collapse and surrender yourself. And your fingers will literally be pried away from your safety mechanisms. Now that's a rather brutal way to go. It's full of struggle and drain and suffering. So be really aware of where these things are happening in your life. And instead of seeing them as punishments or challenges that, you know, are trying to come in and steal things from you, opportunity from you, instead just surrender to the chaos. You know, because if you're holding onto that branch in a storm and you just let go, then you can just trust and drop and allow the wind to blow you. Allow the rains, the floods to wash you away in life. And when this storm subsides and backs away in 12 days' time, you're going to find yourself in a whole new world that's fresh, that's clean. The energy will be clean. You're going to find your own energy levels beginning to ramp up, that you become self-generating. You know, you're able to actually fuel yourself to get up and out there. And then the storm will only destroy the things in your life that are lacking in integrity. Now I'm talking when I say integrity, I'm not talking about, you know, a moralistic view of things. When I speak of integrity, I speak from an engineer's perspective, that integrity is how well something is built. If the different parts of a construction actually belong together and fit together, because when they belong together and fit together, it provides strength. And when you have strength and strong integrity in your buildings, storms can't destroy them. They survive the storm. If you've built something quickly and you've built it trying to save money, you know, you're using cheap resources and with that kind of poverty consciousness, then those structures, when the storm comes, get blown away and destroyed. And that's what this 13 days is bringing to us now. It's going to be testing the integrity of the structures we have created in our lives, in our belief systems, and in our emotional body. And in 12 days' time, you will find out what's left behind. And then you can start building on top of what remains. Because what remains is strong. It's survived the storm. So you have another opportunity to really rebuild with integrity a new form, a new structure to live in and to dance in and to celebrate in and to work in and to share your light in. And so it's a beautiful thing. The storm is of service. It's clearing the old. Because sometimes we don't have the willpower, we don't have the self-awareness to know what's good for us sometimes. And so it can be really good for a storm to come in and really clean us out. And I know for me today here in Bali, you know, Bali's always a bit unpredictable, but this morning the storm has been rocking. It's you know, back and forward, things moving, changing, chaos. And because I knew it was a storm wave spell, I was able to surrender and laugh at the situation. It became fascinating to watch the storm doing its work. And instead of being a victim to the day, I became empowered to ride the storm. And so I'm encouraging to bring that awareness into your life and to see if you can see these patterns of the storm happening. And again, instead of being victim to it, laughing, playing it, celebrate it, knowing that it's here to be of service, not of hindrance. So thank you for tuning into the Galactic Mind Weather Report. I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter than normal. and I'll see you halfway at the Red Resonant Serpent for the Midway Spell video report. Enjoy the storm. Much love, in Lakesh.